back to Iron Rage, the show where John Romano, Lee Priest, and I vent our frustrations with the world and rage a little bit. Lee Priest is back this week. After being on hiatus, we sent him his free subscription to MD for payment for today's show in the mail. You should have it by next year. Now, Lee, Lee, I was trying to think of a good...
Actually, I want to tell you something. You know, if you do, I don't know if you look at my Instagram at all, but Swole O'Clock's got a half-price sale on. Buy a fucking watch, you stupid cunt. I get up here early, say 6 a.m. 6 a.m. So I have to get up at 5 a.m., have my breakfast, get things ready, got to take the wife to work, and then you say 6:15. 6:15 comes, and you say another 10 minutes. Now it's fucking after 6:30, and I'm still waiting. Does your watch work at all?
No, it doesn't actually. You know what the problem is, Lee? We try to film that. We film everything we do for the whole week in 2 days, so you know how that works. It never works out right.
Don't make excuses.
No,
when you say a time, you stick to a time.
Spank. All right, here's your topic. This is the topic you've been waiting for your whole career. All right. There was an announcement that that Dan Solomon, who's now running the Mr. Olympia competition, they just hired Tamer El Gunti to be the producer of the show. They're really revamping the Olympia and making it better. And I think that's good because they're obviously trying to improve the Mr. Olympia, brand and, the experience that the fans have and everything like that. So I think a lot of people have asked me this before, and I really don't have a good answer. You have a lot of opinions. If Lee Priest was made the president of the International Federation of Bodybuilders tomorrow, what would you do to change the sport of bodybuilding? This is like a Miss America question, like if you were in the Miss America pageant.
What would I do?
Yeah, I want to know what the president Lee Priest would do.
I'd make it more fan interactive. It's like, yes, you can go meet them, meet the VIPs and that before the show. But look, meeting bodybuilders before a contest is pretty shit. We all know that. They're in their zone of competing for the show. They want to put tan on. They want to sit down. Okay, they love their fans, but really, a day or two before the contest, they don't really want to be out meeting people, talking to people about contest prep and that. They just want to be relaxed, getting ready. It's like a top fighter getting ready for a fight. You're not going to have them out the night before, meeting fans, shaking hands, chatting, all this sort of stuff. And especially when you're prepped for so long and your body's on that fine line of spilling over or coming in your best condition ever. So I'll change that up. So I'd have it after the show, a big banquet after that the fans could come to, where, once after the show's done, people are happy, unless they got a shit placing, then they still don't want to talk to the fans. But I would take it back to the old, when they had the fans could vote on, say, the best body parts and that.
Right.
But I'd take it back to give a certain portion of the fans, whether it be the VIP people, whatever, a voting thing where part of the score would come from them. Not a lot, but just because, like I said, everyone's going to have their favourites on stage, and even if your favourite's a little bit off, you're going to put them first. But, over the vast majority, if you let the fans have some sort of vote, you can sort of use a small percentage of that to go towards the overall thing, because so many times we'll see a contest, whether it be the Mr. Olympia, the Arnold Classic, whatever, where, like I said, you're going to have your fan favourites, and no matter how they look, you're going to put them first. But overall, the majority of people have the placings, when you talk to them, all pretty much always the same. You can have, out of all these 2,000 people, 1,600 will have the exact same placings. 400 could be a little bit off. So when you can have an audience of, say, 2,000, 1,600 have the exact same placings, but 9 judges down the front have the total opposite, you're like, well, what the fuck are they watching? So, you'd have to I'd mix it up a bit so the fans could have more interaction with it.
Well, they had the People's Champ last year, so that kind of gave the fans...
we always have People's Champ, but I mean actually let them have a bit of a small say in the judging.
Okay.
And then we also have, like, we have where they do the, I forgot what I was going to say now. I've lost my train of thought there. See how quick I lose it? Bert? Yeah,
well, what about
I'd make it more, like I said, I'd stick to rules. I'd stick to rules with as far as you're going to mark them down for stomachs. If you're going to say that, do it. Because they said that when I was competing.
Yeah. And
it never happened, did it? So, it never happened. When they said that the women were taking, your women have to lose 20% of your muscle. And like Kathy at the time, a lot of girls lost 20% of their muscle, but they're still awarded the big girls. So, they pretty much destroyed women's bodybuilding. And the way men's bodybuilding going now, some of the bloated stomachs, if they don't rein it in, which they should have reined in back when I was competing, it wouldn't have got out of control like now. They wouldn't have had to have a classic physique if they had kept the men's stomachs in tow. And, The expos you could have, the expos are pretty good now, but you could have more stuff. The Art of Classic Expo is great because they have so much going on, because they have so many different sports, whereas the Olympia Expo, it's mainly just bodybuilding. That's it. You just have bodybuilding, whereas I think the Arnold Classic, because they have so much different things going on, you can go watch martial arts, you can go watch bloody indoor archery, you can go watch chess games if you want. So, whether they add more stuff like that to the Olympia to make it more, coverage of more sports rather than just bodybuilding type things. So it's hard to say. But, if you sat down and got a few people together, like I said, and open up a few more doors, you could make it a lot better. Whereas I think before, it was just the Mr. Olympia. We're not changing anything. This is the way it's run. This is the way it's always been run. This is the way it's going to be. Mm-hmm. If you get that mindset and you're not open to new ideas, then, like I said, it becomes stale and stagnant over the years. Yes, it's a great show, but, it's just like repetitious year after year after year. Nothing new. It's like watching your same TV show over and over and over and don't change the plot or the dialogue of the TV show. It just becomes boring. So, maybe with Dean coming in on board now and bringing other people in, you get a few different ideas. You've got to get people, too, from outside of bodybuilding. Don't just have people in the bodybuilding industry where you're not just bodybuilding and that sort of thing. Get people from different industries who are in entertainment and other aspects of stuff and bring them in and, put your heads together. You can probably come up with something a lot better that the fans will enjoy more and even the competitors will enjoy it a lot more.
When they have the presidential debates, Lee, the press a lot of time create the questions, okay?
Oh, yeah, I would change that too, yes. Yeah. The press conference, leave, like I said, okay, every year Bob comes out in his bloody little Joker outfit like in Batman, the stupid suits, God knows where, he got them left over from fucking Mardi Gras, who knows where them jackets come from, but love you, Bob. Yeah, but, like I said, him and the other guys, so Phil, tell us how you're going to do this year. Well, I'm at my best. No one's going to beat me. Is Kai going to beat you? What? Mr. Olympia, Kai's not going to beat me. So Kai, what have you got to say about that? Well, the universe and the stars and the quantum leap is all aligned. And I felt during my prep with the gravity pull and the humidity on the aspects of the world turning, I think I'm at my peak this year, and I can beat him and Sean Roden. Sean Roden, what do you say about it? It's the same fucking questions every year, going back and forth. It's like, introduce the guys, let them sit down, maybe ask them one or two questions, but then leave it up to the fans, because the fans are going to have questions about everything. You never know what the fans are going to ask, so that would make it more entertaining. It is a press conference. Let some of the press ask questions, but then let the fans ask questions, because, like I said, you don't know what they're going to ask. The stuff, if you watch the last few Olympia press conferences, Bob and Dennis, and that before Dennis it was Bob and Dan Solomon. That's the same frigging questions over and over and over, trying to get these little fights going back and forth between people. That's just shit. Let the actual fans that have paid their money to come there and sit there and ask the questions. I said it'll be more entertaining. It'll be a lot more funnier. There'll be better interaction with the athletes and the fans. So, Bob and that, they can introduce them, and then, like I said, they can still keep it moving, keep the flow of the press conference moving along by throwing a question in here or there, but leave it open to the fans that are sitting there to ask the questions.
What about doing something like more creative? Like, remember when they had that? I mean, I didn't like it, but remember they had the challenge round for a while back when Wayne DeMilia was doing it, where guys would be able to challenge other bodybuilders for body parts, and then they had the challenge round champion. Did you like that?
It wasn't bad. It changed it up. I think the crowd liked it, because then it was like somebody would remember. Was it, who was it? The guy from South America. Yeah, he beat, was it Ronnie in the tricep shot and that? And Ronnie was like, how the hell did he beat me? Ronnie was getting all upset. He beat him in a tricep shot. But like I said, it does make it more entertaining. Some people might not have liked it, but, it's just, pick a competitor out and challenge him to a pose that, okay, you think this is your best pose. Him, I think it's his. I said, okay, even if it didn't go to the score, just have it up there to make it entertaining. It's like, when you watch wrestling, yes, they know how to wrestle, they know how to do this, but it's entertaining. Some people love it. You look at the crowds they get. Back in the day, I used to tell Wayne DeMilia when we'd have arguments, I said, look, just play along with it. And a couple of times he did, Wayne would say something, I would say something to people like, oh my God, did you see what Egypt? It's like, make it entertaining. Don't take it personal. Get this hype going. So, leading into stuff, it's entertaining. But if you say anything in bodybuilding these days, they take it personal and you get suspended. So, you just got to play along.
So you think there should be more like shtick, more like, acting, and just like let the fans get excited about, holy, did you hear what he said about him? And don't take it
personally. Yeah, because like I said, in the gym, that's where you're training serious, you're dieting serious. But once you get to that point where you're in shape and on the day, it's all about the fans. Yes, it's all about you doing well in the contest too, but have some entertainment leading up to it. Because like I said, look at the wrestling matches, all the shit talk they go back and forth with each other leading up to a big, match for the belt. And then when they're in the rings, they talk crap and it keeps going back and forth and stuff. The fans go crazy for it. So, you got to, as I said, make it entertaining rather than, like I said, the press conference. How do you think you're going to do? I think I can beat everybody. What about you? Good. I dieted hard. Yeah, I just want to thank my family, my wife. Thank God and Jesus for standing by me. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. Yes. And so I was like, it's fucking boring. And I said, well, I think I mentioned something about bodybuilding boring not long ago. And Derek, the new guy in the 212, sort of had a little go at me saying it's boring. But like I said, I respect all the guys getting up there, but the sport itself has just become repetitious. Okay, here's the contest. These are the guys in it. We know how it's going to go. When the Olympia would come around, at least with the Arnold Classic, sometimes anyone could win it, whereas the Olympia would come around, you'd be like, oh, Phil's going to win again. So, last year when Phil got beat, it was great because now this Olympia, it's up in the air still. Can Sean come back and win it again? Maybe not. Maybe he can. So this Olympia is probably the most exciting it's been for a long time because there's no one set in stone who's going to be Mr. Olympia. So that's one good thing about it. It's really whoever comes in best on the day this year could be Mr. Olympia. So it's not going to be like, oh, it's going to be Jay again, or it's going to be Ronnie again, or it's going to be Phil again. This year's wide open to anyone who hits their peak on that day. So, it's just little things, like I said. But, with getting new people in to organise it, run it, like I said, if Dan gets people in from outside the sport with different ideas, they can create a great, wonderful thing. It's even like Super Bowl. Super Bowl, yes, it's all about the game, but yet look at the commercials on TV. It's all the hype around it, whether it be stuff going on, tailgating parties, and it's all about the lead up to the Super Bowl and stuff, because I think they worked out with the Super Bowl, the actual ball in play is only like 16 and a half minutes of actual play time. You got a 2 hour game on TV, but the ball's only in play for 16 and a half minutes. So it's all the stuff around the Super Bowl that's the excitement, not the actual game itself.
Right. What about, Lee, I talked about this on Ask Dave before, but what about the idea that the pre-judging should be shot with a well-lit stage with a great, with a black backdrop, kind of like the way the Iron Man used to be set up?
Right. Well, the Iron Man, that's how it should be. The Iron Man had the best lighting ever, Mike Naveau from Iron Man magazine did the best lighting there. And the thing was, too, it didn't matter where you stood. If you stood off to the side, if you stood in the middle, everyone had the same lighting, which lit up their physique. You had lights coming up from behind, the side, down lighting. So whatever angle you stood, your body was at its best. And I know the Arnold Classic back in the day used to be washed out because they lit a lot of the Arnold Classic when it used to be on TV. It was lit for TV more than actual judging. So a lot of guys, you see them backstage in photos, you're like, man, the guy's shredded. And on stage, you'd be so flat and washed out just because of the lights were so bright. So, and plus, too, people always say, well, he's in the middle of the stage, he's got the best lighting. This way it gets rid of that too, because you can't complain no matter where you stand on the stage. If you've all got the same equal lighting, you all look as equally good if you're in shape. So don't use this excuse, well, he had the best lighting, he was centre stage, I was, 6 people across to the right, I had the shit lighting and half a curtain coming in on me. So, I said they need to, if they could light it like the Iron Man, it would be perfect, because it just had, like you said, the black background. At night, they might have had a few colours behind them, but, pre-judging is done by them. But pre-judging, when you've got to look your best and be at your best, that's when it should be done. And I'd go back to the old days too of having it all in the same day, pre-judging in the morning, finals at night. There's no go away, come back tomorrow. This is the Olympia today. We don't play half a game at tennis and then you come back tomorrow and finish the tennis game off or any other sport, boxing. Okay, come the 5th round, ding, ding, fellas, come back and do the other 5 rounds tomorrow. If today's the day, you don't have to say, well, pre-judging, he looked good, he was a little bit off, but maybe he can pull it in better and come in a bit drier tomorrow. No, today's the day. You've got to hit your peak today. Saturday, you got the pre-judging. Saturday night's the finals.
Sure.
You've got to do the best you can then, because there's no second chance here.
Yeah, no, I agree. That I agree with. I think the Arnold people have it right, to do it that way. And I know the Olympia people figure they could sell more tickets if they have a Friday night and then a Saturday night, so people are going to come back both days to see the.
But like I said, I think true fans, like I said, maybe we just have to charge a little bit extra for the nighttime tickets. True fans are going to come to the Saturday show and the Saturday night show, but half the time too, I think putting the Olympia on the computer live on webcast is great for people around the world, but half the people in Vegas will go to the expos, see the pros at the expos, they won't even go watch the contest because they'll just watch it online and go out and gamble. It's like, hey, Vegas, we'll watch the contest on our computer in the hotel room. So, it's like,
yeah,
but the true fans are going to,
like
the true fans will watch it on the same day or like I said, but it's for the competitors. It's more about them, because if you've hit your peak that day at prejudging and someone's off, why should that person have a chance to go away for 12, 16 hours, take diuretics, do whatever they've got to do, and come back the next day and all of a sudden, wow, they're better now? And too bad. Today's the day to prejudge it. You've got to be on today. You don't get a chance to go away and come back looking better. And maybe that guy that was great that day comes back the next day and now he's off. So it should be judged all on that day and awards given that night.
Do you think that the judges' scores should be revealed, live? Would you like to see that?
I do, because like I said, most other sports there are Olympics. They always talk about making bodybuilding an Olympic sport. In all the Olympic sports on TV, the judges' scores come up. Judge from China, 8.7. Judge from wherever, 6.2. So, yes, they should be held accountable for that. And then you can see it too. That way it gets rid of the, sometimes you'd hear someone say, well, I had him here, I had him there. And when this tallying come up, well, how did he place there? That way if the scores are shown, you're going to know there can't be any scores changing. There can't be anything done at the end of the show to move people around. You see exactly where they're being placed as the show's going along. So
I would certainly like to know what the scoring is after the prejudging, right? Before going into the final, so you know where people kind of stand, right? I mean, that would at least be.
Exactly. Well, some people do, because how many times have you heard that after a thing, I guess people in the know find out, because you'll hear, well, right now you're sitting in first, or right now you're in second, or such and such. I just heard from the judges that you're in third going into the show. So it's like I said, now they know they're in third. Okay, I've got 12 hours. What can we do to change this around to make me come in first? So if everyone knows, then they can't hide anything. Like I said, it gets rid of the whole political bullshit that with conspiracies and this and that, or somebody knows this judge or this person does that. So like I said, just make it transparent. I think the crowd would love it too.
Oh, I think that would be great. Yeah, and maybe even know what the crowd thinks. Like you say, have a people score, after prejudging. This way, everyone kind of knows where they stand going into the night show. Bring it back better, and then show those scores at the night show, and this way, it becomes much more dramatic. I think people get more excited about it. They feel like they're a part of the process.
I think so. I think so too. Even with the routines, it's like we've had different routines before. I know, Wayne tried to do it with the PDI, having different themes. And if you want to do a theme, it's Vegas, for God's sake. Make it. I think the best one that did that was when Tom Platz did the WBF. Remember the themes he had there? He had with Tony Pearson, he had half a jet come on the stage. He was known as the Jet Man. Like I said, they did the whole stage up like a big production, because every bodybuilder has their own characteristic. They have a nickname.
Sure.
So play up to that. Like I said, it's fucking Vegas, for God's sakes. It's the biggest entertainment capital in the world.
They used to have props, and then Ronnie Coleman came out dressed as Moses, and then they did away with it after that. The Black Moses. He ended it.
You can just imagine me coming in on a Superman suit on wires.
Yeah, I would love to see that. People would go crazy to see you fly out on stage.
I know, just play up to it. Like I said, it is Vegas. I said it wouldn't be hard to get someone there that could, do the stage like that and have everyone. Sure, it might take a little bit more time to change things around, but hey, the girls get to use props here and there. They get different stage settings and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be hard to do it for the men. That's like I said, if they wanted to. But like I said, it's Vegas, for God's sake. That's what entertainment is. Have stages. Have someone come up through the stage. Have someone come in on wires. Right. Have whatever.
I agree. I think definitely you should allow props. I think they should allow people to be creative for their night show routines. Make it entertaining and give a Best Poser award at the Olympia, right?
Exactly. Best poser or best entertainer, but whatever it's going to be, because sometimes the best poser award, he might not have done the best posing routine.
That's true.
Someone like
Most
Labrada,
entertaining. I agree.
Yeah, just have to be entertaining, because like sometimes you'd see someone like Labrada do the best posing or something like that, but yet somebody would win something else. You're like, well, he didn't really pose. He did a lot of dancing and all this break dancing and stuff, which is entertainment. So maybe best entertainer or whatever.
When you see
the Olympia this year, look in the fine print. Executive producer Lee Priest.
There you go. Lee Priest, president for the day here at Iron Rage.
Thank you.
I'm Dave Palumbo. Lee, your 50-cent commission check will be in the mail, I promise, this week. And thank you for waking up at 5 in the morning.
Is that with the exchange rate at the moment?
That's with the exchange rate. I appreciate you getting up an hour early, even though we made you wait.
I think it's like 80 cents. That's 80 cents Australian. Yes.
That's right. Yes. You're rich. Lee, thank you so much. I'm Dave Palumbo for Lee Priest, president of the IFBB for the day. We'll see you next week.